last week, and so we're going to replay the comments because we were from the previous public hearing because we had difficulty hearing those. Those of you who are on the wall, there's some seats over here if you want to walk around and come back, unless you just want to stand. But there are some extra seats over here, open seats rather.
Hi, I'm Mara Muskrat. I'm part of the Suicide Moms. This is concerning the budget for next year on the CRTs. My daughter, Kara Staniford, was a special investigator with the DOC. During the course of her job, she was witness to some things that she couldn't unsee and consequently suffered from PTSD. It tortured her greatly, but the stigma of asking for help carried more weight than the PTSD. And when she could no longer endure the pain and felt the only way out was to end her life. Please budget money for the men in blue and the women to help themselves. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Becky Cruz, and I am a resident of Tulsa, the city of Tulsa, and I'm calling about agenda item CRT expansion, which is the community response team. And I'm a member of a group called the Suicide Moms. We've all lost children to suicide. And although Adam never had any interaction with the police, I do believe that his mental health could have easily escalated into a situation that would have been dangerous for him and possibly for others. And as a group and as an individual, I believe that the expansion of the CRT in Tulsa is an opportunity to serve as a model of strong commitment to mental health and crisis services in our city. Therefore, your vote for this expansion would impact not only Tulsa, but all the other communities in our state as they move to adopt similar programs. We also believe that these important mental health resources in Tulsa would represent us as a forward-thinking, innovative city. We think it's imperative that Tulsa continues to develop systems designed to meet the needs of the individuals in crisis and their families. A strong CRT co-responder program is a key piece of this system. We applaud and appreciate Mayor Bynum's taking first steps to move this program from a pilot phase toward full implementation. And we strongly urge unanimous support of this vital part of the mayor's proposal. Thank you for listening, and thank you for all you do for the city, and thank you for your help. Have a good week. Bye.
Hello, my name is Karen Sullivan. I am a Tulsa resident, and I would like to voice my opinion on a public hearing regarding the budget proposal. I had a son who died in 2017, Caleb, of mental illness. He died by suicide. So I'm very passionate on mental health programs in Tulsa, and I sincerely believe that the expansion of the community response team in Tulsa is an opportunity to serve as a model of strong commitment to mental health and crisis services. And therefore, your vote for this expansion would impact not only Tulsa, but all other communities in our state as they move to adopt similar programs. Thank you so much for your time.
My name is Peggy Garrett, and I'm calling to comment on the budget proposal. I am a member of the Suicide Moms, having lost my son EC to suicide in 2012. The Suicide Moms are motivated by the loss of our children to support individuals and families that continue to experience mental health challenges. We know firsthand how desperately programs are needed to ensure the safety and proper treatment of citizens with behavioral health issues. The Suicide Moms would like to express our strong support for Mayor Bynum's proposed expansion of the community response team to 5-day per week operation. The investment of funds for additional police officers, paramedics, and mental health professionals is vital to the future of this life-saving program. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Jones, and I'm calling to comment on the budget proposal. In 2017, I lost my husband, Keith Jones, to suicide when he jumped from a creek turnpike bridge. In January 2020, my boyfriend, Jason Campbell, died by suicide when he shot himself in front of me. I personally struggle with bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. As a Tulsan devoted to improving mental health in our community, I would like to express my strong support for Mayor Bynum's proposed expansion of the community response team to 5-day-per-week operation. It's an important step in moving this program from the pilot phase toward full implementation of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 24/7 CRTs are now recognized as best practices for communities according to national government guidelines for behavioral health crisis care. Reducing encounters between law enforcement and individuals with severe psychiatric diseases represents the single most immediate practical strategy for reducing fatal police shootings. In the past 5 years, at least 5 Tulsans who suffered from mental illness and substance use disorders were killed by police. Terrence Crutcher, Joshua Harvey, Joshua Bear, Jacob Craig, and Jonathan Randall, in all cases, police say they had no alternative in the handling of these victims, but we know there is a better alternative for Tulsa families. Calls involving mental health must be answered by mental health professionals trained to handle them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We already know data shows CRTs improve efficiency and use of emergency personnel, reduce repeat 911 crisis calls, connect citizens to appropriate services, and save taxpayer dollars. But most importantly, they save lives and reduce trauma to individuals, families, and police officers themselves. Thank you, and God bless.
There are no more recorded speakers. The next speaker is Barbara Hathcock.
Stuck between golf and reparations. I don't care about golf, and I support reparations. So. My name is Barbara Hathcock, and I'm here to comment on the budget proposal. My son, Keith Jones, died by jumping from a creek turnpike bridge 3.5 years ago at the age of 36. Here he is. Keith was extremely kind and sensitive and intelligent. I always wonder what he would be thinking about current developments in our community now. I hope he would be thinking that we're heading in the right direction, becoming a more caring city. Keith suffered from a neurochemical disruption in his brain known as bipolar disorder. Due to anxiety and insomnia, he frequently took long walks through surrounding neighborhoods at night. And that really scared me. I lived in fear that while walking in the community at night, he might exhibit some odd behavior that would cause someone to call 911. I feared a response by police who may not be trained to recognize and safely deal with him and his mental illness. As suicide moms, although our kids are no longer here, we speak up to support others that continue to experience mental health challenges. While we appreciate and support the proposed expansion of the community response teams to 5 days a week, the memories of our children won't let us rest until CRTs are available 24 hours a day, every day. Since Keith and I used to write, yay. And now comes the silly part, kind of. Since Keith and I used to write poems in a Dr. Seuss mode, I have written the following advocacy poem for Keith. The City of Tulsa's Strong Leadership Corps deals with roadways, utilities, refuse, and more. And among the chief duties our leaders must face is to fund a police force to keep Tulsans safe. As we task our police force with crime overall, they must also respond to all mental health calls, to deal with psychosis and substance abuse, depression, bipolar, and other issues. So our leaders developed a mental health squad with folks specially trained who can safely respond, a mobile response team they call CRT, an officer, counselor, and EMT. However, these great teams are now on the way only 3 days a week for just 10 hours a day. If your loved one's psychosis should happen to fall on a day when this highly trained team takes the call, they'll respond with compassion and de-escalate, then connect you with services. Outcomes are great. But if the psychosis occurs in the night or on days when the special team isn't on site, the police who are sent out to handle this need often come without training to help them proceed. They come dressed in uniforms in police cars armed with tasers and guns, then anxiety soars. Your loved one may not hear the words police say. If they're having delusions, they may not obey. The police may then escalate and, worst of all, may injure or traumatize all those involved. In some cases, loved ones do not survive when we called 911 to help keep them alive. Imagine when calling emergency folks to help save a loved one who suffered a stroke, you received the dispatcher's response on your phone, "All of our medical staff has gone home." There's no one on duty at this time of night who is training to safely treat your loved one's plight. But we'll send police who will come right away, handcuff your ill loved one, and take them away. Of course you will say, that just wouldn't be right. Our city should help us each day and all night. For people with heart attacks or those with strokes, we must send out highly trained medical folks. So just as we would for your heart or a stroke, we must save the lives of our mental health folks. We must employ staff that is specially trained if your loved one's health crisis is caused by their brain. Let's expand and move forward with CRT use for mental health calls or for substance abuse till the teams are on call every hour, every day to help citizens in the most compassionate way.
That was the last speaker, correct?
It was.